Are you ready for some football? All my rowdy friends are coming over tonight. No one's saying that. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Super Chat Sunday. Graham Elwood here. It is Sunday, February 3rd. It's also Super Bowl Sunday. Don't give a shit about that anymore. So you are here with me. Welcome. Let me know if you can see and hear me all right. If all the languages are coming up correctly. Languages, I don't know what that means. Oh, I got that boom, boom, pow, that hit. All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's open up the live control room at YouTube. Live control room. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, there's everybody. Oh, your dad works for the New York Times. What's up, Meg 205, Mike S, Stacy Edwards. You can hear me, Pop Reality, Ben, Marla. Good to see all of you here making Gotham great again. Super Duper Scooper Bowl. Cheryl Brandon. You're going to dip out for the Super Bowl? Go Rams. All right. I guess I hope the Rams win. I don't know. But 29 of you are currently watching. How did that move? All right. We want this here. What's up, a dingo at my baby, Marcia Smith? Good. Hashtag boycott Super Bowl. What's up? Hello from London. There's a green vest here, right on. Fantastic. Fantastic, everybody. So, many of you have already watched the Jimmy Dore takes out the heckler. I just want to explain that because some people were like, wow, Jimmy overreacted, or you guys should have talked to her. Most of you understood what was going on. So, and I'm going to post on Patreon the majority of the whole show. I did stand up for about 15 minutes at the top of the show. Then Jimmy did about 15 minutes. And then we sat down, and that's when she interrupted us. And then we did the political vigilante game show. I put the game show up there, and I put when she interrupted us. I'm not going to put Jimmy's set up there. I'm going to put just the beginning of his set up there where you see how she's rude and interrupts him. Just because he was doing new material, and comedians, our material is like intellectual property. And once we put it up online, then it's it can be, the term is like the material's burnt. So, but I'm going to show you, because what happened, there was about 20 some people in this little bar. It was very cool. And then these two women had come in, and they were sitting at the bar, and they were drinking, and one of them was kind of talking loudly, and they weren't there to see the show, because there was the stage, and then there's the bar where everybody gets their drinks, and there's some seats at the bar, and they came in and were just sitting there talking at the bar loudly. And they kind of talked and kind of heckled me a little, but were just sort of being loud. And I was like, okay, I was on stage like, okay, yeah, great. And then they keep talking, and then Jimmy gets on stage to do stand up. And again, I'm going to, for the $10 Patreon level, you're going to see almost the entire show. You're going to see, I'm going to take out most of Jimmy's act, but you'll see what they do. He's like, hey, you guys, good to have, Jimmy said something like, hey, good to have all you guys here at the comedy show. And then she goes like, we're waiting for the comedy, saying you're not funny, basically, is what she's saying. And he politely deals with it. He goes, oh, okay, yeah. And he just kind of like, whatever. And And then she keeps talking. So then when Jimmy's on stage, I go to the door guy and I say, could you tell those women politely to stop talking? And if they keep interrupting, they're going to be asked to leave. And he goes over there and says, you know, guys, you can't interrupt the show and be rude like that. And they say, okay. And the guy comes back to me and says, I told him politely. He goes, Graham, when you go back up there, if they keep getting worse, just give me a look and I'll pull them out. I said, you got it. Jimmy does his set. She's kind of staying quiet. But she's acting like, look, I've been doing this for over 25 years. I know what a drunk audience member is like. They're going to keep drinking and getting worse, more than likely. And then we were talking about the New York Times. She goes, my dad wakes in. And she just yells and interrupts the show. And then we call her out. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. Jimmy says, I'll give you $500 if you can name Chris Hitchens. She says no. And then I went, and she stands up out of her chair, and she's like, man, the door guy's name was, I go, Eric, get her out. And you don't see this because it's off camera. She's like, he said that she put her hands on his neck, and he was like, and he said for a second, he goes, I almost treated her like a guy and was just gonna, he's ex-military and was like, I was just gonna fucking take her out. So that, and most of you get it. And you have to deal with that shit as a stand-up comic all the fucking time. And what's annoying is there's all these people that paid money to listen to professional comedians, and then there's a drunk asshole who won't shut the fuck up. And then they always get offended at some stupid thing for no reason. And then when they're getting kicked out, they keep arguing. When the show was all over, those girls were still downstairs, and I was like, oh, great, I'm just going to avoid them. Her friend comes up to me and Jimmy and Steph and says, hey, I'm so sorry for my friend. She was out of line. And we were like, oh, well, thanks. And we didn't go, no, it was no big deal. We didn't say that because it was. A bunch of people paid money to come see us perform, and she almost ruined it. That's what happened. So anyone that's like, Graham, you shouldn't have heckled her. You should have let her talk and brought her on stage. That is the dumbest and worst idea. You never let a heckler on stage. You never give up your microphone. Your microphone is your power. That is people who don't know anything about stand-up comedy said that. Most of you got it. Yeah, it was just preposterous. Yeah, from the first minute you can hear her jeering. Yeah. Pop Reality. Thank you for supporting the show. Shave the knuckles for justice. I think Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez endorsement will hold weight in the primaries? That's a great question. I think yes, because there's a lot, I mean, myself and like, provided it's like genuine. Because I think us progressives were, for me at least, I see there's so much that Ocasio-Cortez is doing, and there's a lot about her I really like. My concern, as I think most of our concern is she going to just acquiesce to when the Democratic, like let's say the Democrats do what we probably think they're going to do, which is screw over whatever progressive gets screwed over. Which right now, if Bernie actually announces, it'll be Bernie and or Tulsi. And then they're really pushing Kamala. They really want Kamala Harris, who is as corporate of a Democrat as you can get. Then Ocasio-Cortez might buckle. I don't know in the general, but your question is about the primaries. I think it will hold some weight. But if she just backs like Kamala Harris because she thinks she should, or they tell her to, then I don't know. But I feel like, she's very active and skilled on Twitter, and she understands how valuable and powerful Twitter is, and she uses it quite well. And I think she felt that when she gave that sort of veiled endorsement of Cuomo, And everyone kind of went, what are you doing? Like, why are you backing this guy? I think it'll carry some weight, but it's a real interesting question. This is going to be one of the craziest primary and presidential elections we will have ever seen in my life, at least. Crazier than 2016. Because this is it, in my opinion. Like, if we can't get a progressive in there now, forget it. There's no chance. This is our last chance to try to get a progressive in the White House, to hopefully try to reverse climate change and save the planet. That's where I view it. So, but she's got a lot of sway. She's becoming very popular for very good reasons. When she says to Anderson Cooper, no one asks how we're going to pay for Space Force. No one asks how we're going to pay for bombs and rockets and all that stuff. So, and she's pushing a Green New Deal. Now, of course, the Democratic Party is going to water down the Green New Deal and Pelosi and Schumer it up. So it won't be the one we want. It won't be the one that will actually save the planet. So we'll see what she does, man. It'll really, she's literally only been in office a month. I mean, how many bills has she even voted on yet? Like, she's only been in office a month, and it shows you how powerful she is and how popular she is. But let's see. We have a year and a half of primaries and then the general election. We have a year and a half. So a lot's going to happen. But that's a great question, Pop Reality. Thanks for supporting the show. Guys, great way to support the show is how Pop Reality just did. Or, of course, go to streamlabs.com/Graham Elwood if you don't want to if you prefer using PayPal. Boom. Great question. We know the game. Why are we even considering anyone else besides Bernie? I say Bernie 2020 Nina and hold still. Dude, would I love a Bernie Nina Turner? Well, a Bernie Nina Turner ticket would be. He already is doing better with Black and Latino voters than he's doing with white voters. If he brought Nina in it, it would be lights out. You know how 2016 was like the lowest Black voter turnout in 20 years? 2020 would be the highest, because I think it would be like a real progressive, not the one we all hoped Obama was going to be and then let us down. And you got to have a young VP with Bernie because of his age. Because of his age, it's a legitimate question. I don't think he's too old to run, but if a president is in their 70s or 80s, the question, what happens if you have to ask that whoever's president, what happens if they die? Who's the VP going to be? So if Trump dies, because he falls asleep in a tanning salon because he's done too much coke the night before, then we're going to have Mike Pence in there shocking the gay out of people. So it's a legitimate question to ask. And a Bernie Sanders Nina Turner ticket would be phenomenal. Phenomenal. And then you make Tulsi Secretary of State. But thanks for supporting the show, my friend. All right. Where are we at here? Anthony Penza. Anthony, thank you for supporting the show. Don't have a question, just saying thanks for posting the stuff from the dojo. Oh, Anthony, my pleasure, man. I want to do more political vigilante live stuff because they're fun. And, it's another version of, this show, I like doing this here, but I'm a comedian. So having a live audience is great. And I love doing the political vigilante game show and the question and answer that we did, which is just Jimmy and I talking. It's really cool. I'll try to do more of it. And what I'm going to do is cut up clips like I've done for the next live shows. And then at the $10 Patreon level, I'll put as much as the whole show if possible. If one of the comics on the show doesn't want me to put their act out, I won't. But you can see like almost the whole show in its entirety on the Patreon. So speaking of which, in May, I'm doing Political Vigilante Live in beautiful Salt Lake City. So if you're in that area, come on out. Thank you for supporting the show. I get Schadenfreude from self-satisfied donut liberals assuming AOC will endorse Harris. Yeah. Cory Booker just announced his candidacy for president. Great. Yeah, see, Blaine, Kamala is also, you're right. She is perfect for, so we're already seeing it with Kamala, right? So she, she's such a corporate Democrat. It's unreal. But now anyone that any criticism of her, I put out my thing about losing my home to her as a result of her and Obama and Bush and the Wall Street. And I'm racist and sexist. So they're going to play that game. OTR Trucker, thank you, sir, for supporting the show. Are you a lefty feeling unsure about Tulsi? This is your first clue that she's the most progressive candidate. Her speech was perfect. OTR Trucker, that's a great thing. Let's talk about Tulsi. Because there's so much about her that I like. And the fact that she's getting attacked by the war machine and called an Assad apologist, and CNN won't even acknowledge her. And they're like, Kamala's the first female president of, woman of color to run for president. And they won't even acknowledge Tulsi. Those are so many things that I want to support her for. I like her anti-interventionist stance. I like that, and I give her credit that she has completely been open and apologized on numerous times about her homophobic views from when she was younger. And the video she put out there, that video was nice and everything, but to me, it's more about her voting record. So Tulsi's voting record is very pro-gay. She has 100% approval from the Human Rights Watch. Those are the positives. Let's talk about some negatives. That video from 2014 where she said she's conflicted about torture. I have a real problem with that because I'm not down with torture at all. It's been proven that it doesn't work. If somebody started torturing me, I would tell you that I voted for Hillary. I would tell you whatever you wanted to hear, and that's true. And they've done this with the toughest of the tough soldiers. Interrogation techniques are so awful. So I have a real concern that really worries me. And I did also a video on her website when she talks about terrorism. And there's just some language in there, as I pointed out in that video, that says she, she'll it sounds like it might just be, she might just do what Obama did, which is just sort of, I won't have boots on the ground. Obama pulled boots out of Afghanistan and Iraq, but then this never-ending protracted drone strike war, that worries me, in some of the language on her website. And I did a video on that. Then there's the interview I did with Peter Frederick about Hindutva and Hindu nationalism. And I think those are legitimate questions to ask. Learning more about Hindutva and what Hindu nationalism is. And I'm going to get some more people on to talk about it. There's some Indian Americans that have reached out to me that want to discuss this, and I want to have them on the show because some of the people and some of the reactions to that interview I did with Peter Frederick were like, some of those people just sounded like zealots, which is like, well, now you're not, you're making it seem like you're a nationalist because you're acting like that's how nationalists act. Like if we said something negative about, I don't know, Hare Krishnas, I don't imagine they would send all these all cap emails to me and all this other stuff. So I got some responses from some people that I was like, wow. And they automatically were saying that, Peter Frederick and of course then me, guilt by association, we're both white guys that are Hindu phobic and we're racist. And it was like, I want to ask those questions. And then that conversation with Peter, and he has some pretty compelling evidence. I'm going to talk to some more people. And of course, they immediately say that Peter Frederick he hates them and he hates Hindus and all this other stuff. He's married to a Hindu woman. So I don't know the guy personally. He was introduced to me through Samira Khan. And if you have some questions about his validity, that's a valid question to ask. I don't know if I trust this Peter Frederick guy, but if what he's saying is accurate, and if I'm going to get some other sources to corroborate this, then it's really this is a legitimate question to ask. All those things I just listed out that I really, really like about Tulsi Gabbard. I like that she's a vet. I like that she's against anti-interventionist wars because she lost friends in Iraq. I like all that stuff. I mean, when I hear her speak, I go, wow, she's a leader. I could follow this person. I mean, like, I see why she's a leader in the military, because I would be like, you want me to go up, charge through that? I will. And her op-ed piece about all the racism she's had to deal with from being the first Hindu congresswoman, that was a good to address the racism. And initially I felt like, well, her ties or just this Modi is just like, well, it's what they tried to do to JFK. JFK was the first Catholic and only Catholic president. And, you know, Nixon put flyers on people's doors saying, oh, watch out for the crazy Catholic presidential candidate. And he scared evangelicals and Southern Baptists. And if that's all it was, that just some Hindu organizations gave her some money and some of them happened to be a little right wing, and she met with Modi just like a bunch of other politicians have met with him because he's a world leader. On the surface, I would be like, that's nothing. It's not that big of a deal. But if all these people that are in the BJP and the RSS, as Peter has said, have donated sizable amounts of money numerous times and multiple campaigns of hers, I got to ask that question, you know, and that doesn't make me a sexist or Hindu phobic or whatever. I want to know, because one of the many, many, many reasons I didn't vote for Trump was he took money from big oil and he got support of white nationalists. And you could, and Trump supporters would say, oh, some crazy guys did the Nazi salute at his rally. They're wingnuts. No, it was more than that. David Duke endorsed him. The KKK endorsed him. And then when he got elected, Steve Bannon, who was a white nationalist, was in his cabinet. And then all of Trump's cabinet was climate change deniers, including Rex Tillerson, the former head of ExxonMobil. So who a presidential candidate takes money from is something we all need to pay close attention to. And as much as I like Tulsi Gabbard, and I'm not saying, oh, I'm done with her, I don't trust her, she's a Hindu fanatic. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm going to keep asking questions, because I'm not going to do that thing of, well, she's on my team, so I'm going to defend her, and any criticism of her, fuck you. There's a lot of bullshit criticism that Tulsi Gabbard is taking. There is a lot of bullshit, and it's coming from the war machine and neoliberals who call her an Assad apologist and just crazy crap. But that's the thing. We're all progressives, right? We want the truth. So I'm not going to lump one criticism in with the other ones. And the thing Tulsi has not done yet, to my knowledge, she hasn't come flat out and addressed this specifically with getting money from people who are in Hindutva, the BJP and RSS. She hasn't flat out said, even if she just said, look, I was naive, or look, I just thought they were a pro-Hindu organization. I didn't realize they had this history, or I don't think they've been that bad, or something. That op-ed piece she put out there, she answered the racism thing, and good for her on that. But specifically to these Hindu nationalists, she has to say something. She has to say, I don't think they're Hindu nationalists. This is blown out of proportion. Or I wasn't aware of this, or I can't control who donates to my campaign, and no, if I'm president, I'm not going to just go out and execute, Muslims have India, let them execute Muslims in India or whatever. So she hasn't addressed it yet. This is just my stance. And you guys could watch that Peter Frederick video and go, Graham, I don't believe this guy, or even everything. I believe everything he's saying is true, but it's not that big of a deal to me. It's just all of Tulsi's other stances are way too important, but as I'm learning, most of us in the States, we don't understand India. I didn't. I'm learning more now, but we got to keep asking these questions. And all I ask is do your deal. I'm going to try to get as much information as I can and get as many interviews as I can. Because to just dismiss it that she's taking money from them, it's kind of like when I hear Kamala Harris supporters go, "Oh, she just got $2,000 from Steve Mnuchin." She got more than that. And look at her voting record she didn't prosecute. Oh, she shouldn't have. Like, they keep defending her at every turn. And then when I'm bringing up the Steve Mnuchin connection to Kamala Harris, I'm sexist and racist. So don't do that with this specific issue with Tulsi Gabbard. I want her to be the one, man. There's so much, there's so much about her I like. But we got to ask all these questions. And you might go, Graham, there's no such thing as a perfect candidate. Bernie has said some stuff that sounds interventionist, and I'm scared about that, but that's fair, man. That's all fair. That's all fair. Unless I run for president, there's no perfect candidate. So it's a fair question, OTR Trucker. And that's what this is, especially these Sundays. I want to have these discussions and even debates on what we think and who do we think is the best candidate. These are valuable discussions to have. So thank you. My dad was in the military, doesn't support U.S. invasions. Yeah. There's nothing more satisfying than when a comedian takes out a drunk heckler. Boom. AOC will endorse Bernie 2020. Let's hope so. Let's see where we're at here. Jana Kelton, all the talk should be how can we fix the elections? Election reform, baby. Good point. If class is not a concern to a non-American, then that's because the working class in their country is already powerful in all likelihood. KCH Mueller, what's up, Kai? How you doing, brother? Willkommen. Ausgezeichnet. All right, you sent me this thing from Quartz, India. Tulsi Gabbard, the first Hindu in the U.S. Congress, on Modi, Hinduism, and linking Islam to terror. Okay. I will go over that article. Thanks for sending that to me. I am going to save that. Cool. We'll do more work, kids. We're going to get to we're going to talk about everything. How do we ask Peter Frederick where he gets his funding? Well, he's a journalist, so my guess is he does what any freelance. Here's how freelance journalism works. I don't know specifically if this is how Peter gets paid, but this is how freelance journalism works, which I believe in. He's written books. So freelance journalism, you write articles and certain publications pay you to publish them, basically. And then if you publish books as he has done, then you get book deals. Sometimes you get cash advances on those book deals, depending on your past sales record. If you've sold a book that has made a lot of money, they'll give you a cash advance because they know they'll make their money back, the publishers. So that's probably how he makes his money. Alexandra M, hey, how you doing? It needs to be legal to whip politicians in public every time they're caught lying. Okay. Schultz could offer me free frappuccinos for life and I wouldn't vote for him. Oh, Schultz. So this guy's going to run, this billionaire CEO that owns Starbucks, who just thinks that, billionaires can save us all. Jesus Zamora, ask Jeb Bush how to fix elections. He knows. Right on. You see that video about the crude oil granny I've sent to you? Yes, I haven't watched it in entirety yet. I get sent a lot of videos, but I will. Pop reality. Kamala Harris has a black vote problem along with Booker. Yeah, that's the thing too. I got this crazy email from this woman when she was calling me racist and all this stuff, and she was claiming to be a black woman. I wouldn't be surprised if she's some suburban rich white lady that votes for Hillary. But anyway, I was like, she's like, we're tired of you white guys coming after us. And I was like, whoa, there's a lot of very prominent black people that are not in favor of Kamala Harris because of all the people. I mean, Tim Black, especially, he's like, Tim Black, and I retweeted Tim Black, who, by the way, I'm going to get on the show. I've been on his show, and I love what Tim does. And he was like, hey, man, what about all the brothers and sisters you put behind bars? Nico House is like, she absolutely does. You bring up a very good point. She's just a corporate Democrat, man. It's like unreal. Schultz is so terrible that Meghan McCain, of all people, can call him out for being a rich, out of touch bastard. Ah, that's hilarious. What's up, Natural Progressive? How you doing? Australians like actual coffee. Greetings from Canada, Graham. I love your show and Jimmy Dore show big time here. Recommend you check out Dr. Michael Parenti. He's very insightful. Okay, I will check that out. Yeah. Kamala is just born out of the Clintons and what's up? Let's check the Streamlabs. Hey. Marcia Smith. Thank you, Marcia, for donating on Streamlabs. You can too, folks. Streamlabs.com/Graham Elwood is in the title. Just throwing some extra love your way, Graham. Marcia, so sweet. I love that you come out and support the show. I hope you're doing well. I hope all you guys are doing well. Bluebell 51 coffee helps maintain my never killed anyone streak. That's a good streak. Keep that streak alive. Check out our Hidden History channel here. Lots of Parenti interviews. Cool. Can we say Jimmy was kind of right about Trump mobilizing progressives? I think, yeah. There's so much about Trump. Obviously, he's scary. He's crazy. But in some ways, you bring up a good point. I think we sort of needed him. I think he was kind of a necessary evil to get everyone to wake up and mobilize progressives to go, look, we got screwed by the Democratic establishment. And look what they gave us. They gave us Trump. And I've said this before. If Hillary was in office, would we have protests? Would there be these women's marches? Would there be March for Our Lives? Would there be, I don't know, Extinction Rebellion? Would all that stuff be happening? Maybe some of it, but not all of it. People wouldn't be, standing room only at town hall meetings. People wouldn't be talking about Green New Deal. Hillary would be just pretending to pass green legislation, maybe get one or two things passed, and then would blame it on the Republican Congress. That's what she would do. That's what the Democrats do. So I think it's a good point you bring up. Cyber Clue. Everyone should watch Secular Talk's analysis on Kamala Harris. It's really scary and will lead to 4 more years of either Trump or Pence. Yeah, for sure. Mob video poll. How come Hillary got crap for changing her mind on gay marriage and Tulsi not so much? I like Tulsi, but is she not a tiny bit corporate corny too? That's a valid point. I think the difference is, I think Tulsi came to an honest change the way people do when they grow up in a conservative home and you get out in the world and you either stay conservative or you open your mind to things and you see things that are differently. It's like growing up in a small town and then you go to a bigger city and you see people in all these different people with different backgrounds and walks. I've seen it myself. I find Tulsi's change more genuine. Hillary, I feel just like did it because she was politically convenient. Like she doesn't honestly believe it. She's just saying, "Oh, I guess I should do that now." Like that's the Clintons. I don't think they believe anything they say about anything. I'm just sad that there are too many enablers in D.C. No president would get away with half of what Trump has. Well, I mean, yes and no. Let's be clear here. Look at what Obama did, Bush did, Clinton did. They've all been getting away with crap. What Trump is doing is just more gross and vulgar and egregious, but they've all been getting away with that crap. They've all been circumventing the Constitution. I mean, it's like what Bush did and Cheney. Oh God, it's crazy. You just really see with the mask is off with Trump. We really see who runs the shop, calls the shots in this country. It's the military-industrial complex, the oil lobby, big pharmaceutical. They call the shots. The oligarchs and the corporations, they run it. And Trump is just like, yeah, I'm going to do what they do. I'm going to do what they want. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. It's kind of crazy. Yep. Sorry if I misunderstood, but Tulsi supports Syria and Venezuela. Seems fine to me. The Hindu thing is a smokescreen. It could be. Cyber-included Graham already talk about corporate establishment media already throwing the Russians are funding Tulsi. She's a puppet like Trump smears. Well, that's I did have we just had a big conversation about Tulsi, and that was one of the things. Yeah, they're already calling her a Kremlin puppet, which is a reason for me to want to vote for her. So yeah, that's the thing. The smear she's getting from the corporate media and the two-party war machine and everything is a reason to support her. I'm just going to keep asking more questions about the Hindutva stuff because I just need to know more about it and I want to get more information. And she hasn't sufficiently answered that question for me. Jilly Love, just watch a 20-second anti-refugee ad. Thanks. Everything I don't like is a Russian plot, a neoliberal movie. Oh, yeah. Alexandria M. As an atheist, my level of respect for anyone who's religious goes down no matter how progressive they are. Valid point. The Democrats won't change. We need a new party that AMLO did in Mexico in 2014. Can we trust Warren? Can we really afford any conformity? No, I do not trust Warren. I don't think she's that progressive. She voted to give Trump money. She will, I think Warren is, she is a corp Democrat in progressive clothing. I don't trust Warren. She just, the fact that she voted for Trump to get more money for the war budget in October of 17 is that tells you all right there. She confirmed so many of his cabinet picks when she didn't have to. They were going to, and the thinking of, well, they were going to get confirmed anyway. Well, then be a leader. Stand for what you believe in, regardless of if it's going to succeed or not. That's what a leader does. That's what someone who supposedly represents her constituents does, which she didn't. Yeah, she's owned by AIPAC, man. Warren literally just apologized to the Sioux Nation. The Dems, natural progressive. What's up? The Dems are trashing progressives. Just like in 2016, hoping more people are seeing the truth, but cheating. We don't have time to wait for progressive. We need to get into the streets. I agree. I like that Tulsi brought up we're in a new Cold War and closer to nuclear war than ever. Yeah, that's the thing that's so reckless. Rachel Maddow screaming Russia, Russia, Russia. Like, and these people on the left and these people on Twitter with blue checks saying, Jimmy's a Russian asset. I mean, do you know how and reckless and dangerous that is? So you want World War III with Russia? Is that what you're saying when you just accuse everyone of being a Russian stooge or whatever? Like, unbelievable. We're stacking up troops, our NATO troops on the border in Russia and Europe. I mean, who knows what sort of, dogfights our two air forces are having that we're not hearing in the news. It's like crazy, man. It's like people want to go to war with Russia. Are you out of your minds? Oh, so you don't want life on Earth to continue. If there is anybody surviving that you want just a post-apocalyptic horror show. You want to live in that? Unreal. Don't get me wrong, I hate Hillary, but I just caution with double standards. I don't believe anyone, to be honest. Tulsi may come across as more genuine, but aren't they all when they're looking for votes? It's a valid question. How do we know? The question came up at the top of this chat about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Is she going to, I believe her to be very genuine. I believe she got into the race because she just was like, I got to do something. She worked for, worked in Bernie's campaign and was like, this ain't right. But there's a lot of money and power, and it's a little thing here. It's a little compromise there. You want that bill to pass? You want to be put on this cool committee? Great. Then just don't vote for this thing, or, it's these little subtle deals that start happening. And that's when all of a sudden there's this slow down slope of selling out. Schultz 100. Viva las Chavistas. Yep. The populace in the USA would rather keep on suffering than fight for justice for all. Oof. That is sad, but true. Oh, God. Hey, Graham, did you see that insane segment by Rachel Maddow, literally fear-mongering that Russia is hacking our electrical grid in order to kill people? Oh, yeah. It'll probably come out soon because Jimmy talked about it when we did the Jimmy Dore live show this past Friday at Flappers in Burbank. She did this segment where she stands in front of a map and shows that, the polar vortex, the whole middle of the country, the north in America right now is frozen. And she said, look at this polar vortex. Russia could hack our grid and people could die. It was literally like, she sounds crazy. She sounds like, I used to like her years ago when she was on Air America. And now she's like Glenn Beck with his crazy Muslim chalkboard. Remember the Glenn Beck, when Glenn Beck went bananas and Muslims are inside your children's chocolate milk, or whatever. She's doing that now. Russia, 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 Russia. It's insane. And she literally did this segment and she goes, when we come back after commercial break, we're going to talk about how Russia is whatever, hijacking your hamster wheels or whatever. And then they go, this segment brought to you by Boeing. And they show a photo, of the Capitol building with a Boeing sign across it. Oh, I guess that's who owns Congress and said the Senate. That's who owns the Capitol, is Boeing. It's like the Staples Center, the Boeing United States Capitol. Unreal. The Raytheon Senate and the Exxon Congress. It's unreal, man. It was really, it sounds crazy. And I don't know, over 2 years, they've been talking about Russia. You know why they keep talking about Russia? You know, when she does that thing and she shows the polar vortex, you know what she's not talking about? She's not talking about how climate change creates severe weather. It's not, Trump goes, oh, where's all the global warming? It's freezing out. He's a dummy. Well, he's not a dummy. He's paid by the oil lobby to say this thing, to oversimplify climate change. So what happens with climate change? All the weather gets more severe. Cold weather gets colder. Hot weather gets hotter. Floods, there's more water. The droughts get worse. The hurricanes get more intense. Everything becomes more intense. So what Rachel Maddow should be doing, but she is morally irresponsible because she's been bought and paid, what she should be doing is going, look at these temperatures. This is what's creating. You know, we're getting into this Arctic loop or whatever. She should get a scientist on there and say, this is what's causing this. We need to do something about this now. You want to be critical of that, not Russia. Be critical of the fact that the oil lobby, but you know what? The oil lobby pays for her. So does Boeing, so does Raytheon. Boeing, I mean, they buy so much ad time on MSNBC, it's nuts. That's what she should be doing. Every time there's a hurricane or a flood, she should be talking about climate refugees. That's what the ticker should say, climate refugees. And there should be a clock in the corner to 2030. 10 years and 300 and, 10 years and 328 days until it's too late. That's what every news channel should have, a ticker in the corner. We got to get something done, but she's not. Because she's a mouthpiece for the military-industrial complex. She's a mouthpiece for the ruling class. She's a mouthpiece for big oil. She's a paid distractor. That's what she's paid to do, is to distract all of us, to get all wound up about Russia's, Russia, look, that's Russian weather. They pumped in cold weather from Russia. That's why it's so cold in Chicago right now. It's madness. Hizzle mo bizzle, Trump pulled us out of the INF treaty. Oh, great. Yeah, commentator 2013, Russia has a corrupt right-wing government, but that's no excuse for war. Yeah, that's the other thing too. When I say, why are we doing all this Russia hysteria? Oh, so you love Putin? No, he's right-wing. He's corrupt. He meddles. He does really nefarious shit, but we're going to go to, because you know what nuclear war looks like? You know how bad it would be? Are you willing to do that just to say, yay, Trump's so bad, we started World War III? I mean, it's madness. It's madness. The fact that there's no anti-war movement on the left is perplexing to me. The fact that there's nobody talking about how capitalism is cruel and is creating this situation. No one's talking about that. Baby Gerald, nutty as Maddow's rant was, I think the winner of this week's batshit crazy award goes to Ben Stein for his rant against AOC on Fox News. Oh, Ben Stein. He's such a jackass. I know people that worked on that game show. He was a jackass, of course. And Ocasio-Cortez is such a threat. I love just a rich old white guy who didn't he work with Nixon or something, or Reagan, is just like, whoa, AOC. And it's like, because they can't fight what she's, I mean, they always got to say, how are we going to pay for it? And then she says, no one asked that about Space Force. And she even tweeted, she's so skilled about like, our nefarious plot to help single parents and make people's lives better. All the people that watch Fox that have been really disenfranchised, by this government, who many of whom voted for Trump because he was the only one saying he was going to do something about it. They're going to start turning. I'm hearing about more and more conservatives coming over to socialism because they see how awful it is. So, Baby Gerald, you bring up a great point. Maddow's just nuts every night. She's just, oh, Russia, wow. My car wouldn't start, Russia. Like, you know, my yogurt was expired, Russia. Like, that's all they do. So, thanks for supporting the show, Baby Gerald. Shave the knuckles. Brent Norum, boom. Shave the knuckles for justice. Voted in the secret delegate election for the first time last Sunday. AD 41 voted Justice Democrat Progressive. 12 of the 14 seats were won. Learned about on Jimmy's show. Interesting few know about this. Oh, wow, that's really cool. Thanks, Brett Norm, for letting us know that. You voted in the secret delegate election for the first time last Saturday. AD 41. Good for voting Justice Democrat Progressive. 12 of the 14 seats were won. Right on. See? That's why they got to call Jimmy a Russian asset. Because they don't want you learning this. What you learned and just voted and helped get progressives in there in this secret election, they didn't want you. They didn't want you to know that. They want you to watch Rachel Maddow and go Russia, Russia, or Fox News and go, oh, Ocasio-Cortez, socialists. That's what they want. So, Brent Norum, thank you for supporting the show. And thank you for participating, man. That's what I'm talking about. Getting involved, getting informed, and getting involved. Right? It's when we do the progressive comedy tours, we try to get Movement for a People's Party out. We've had the DSA out. We've just added more dates. We're going to be in New York City, June 17th. We just added Baltimore. It's not on my website yet. I haven't had a chance to put it up, but it's on Ron Placone's. I'm already talking. We just did a show with Lee Camp. He was out here. He's going to be on our show in DC. Probably going to try to get Tim Black out there. The head of open primaries is going to be at the show in New York. Judah Friedlander might be there. You know, I'm talking to a lot of people who are going to be there. So Samira Khan said she might come to the show. I know it's a ways out. It's June, but come on out if you can. Thank you, Brett, for supporting the show, and thanks for getting involved, dude. We're working on Philadelphia. Nice. Voted for the first time in the ADEM election last week in California. 13 of 14 Bernie-crats became delegates. Nice. Congress just voted against Trump's decision to bring troops home, of course. Baby Gerald, we'll see you in New York, man. I love it. Let me take a Gotham water break. Pure Gotham water. Filtered by the League of Shadows. Oh, I'm becoming crazy. Put me in Arkham Asylum. Yeah, Putin ain't blinking. Albuquerque, that I don't know yet. That we're working on. That I don't know yet, but let's go over to the Streamlabs. Go to streamlabs.com/Graham Elwood. Watch the video. Graham, oh God, I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting this. You've been telling me to do this for like a month, dude. I'm so sorry. It's been 4 weeks and you still haven't watched a 2-minute video on how to get your Streamlabs link in the description. I still think AOC is playing way too much ball with the Dems. She was elected to take over, not play patty cake. They need to be shred. Yeah, you could be right, man. I can only imagine how much they're leaning on her. And I'm not making excuses, but I hope. Yeah, I don't know. I want to see things change for the better, and I want to see people really get involved. And I hope she fights hard and doesn't just like slowly start to acquiesce. You bring up a great point. Thanks for supporting the show. Ben Stein, thank you for donating $5. Thanks, Ben. Great to have you on the show. Is it me or does Ben Stein look like the evolution between Sam Cedar and Henry Kissinger? He was slurring his words like he was drooling on warmongering. Yeah, Ben Stein is just, he's probably got stock in war companies and it's just like, oh, all this non-war talk is going to really hurt my third home in, Vale or wherever. They just look crazy. These people are looking crazy. We're like at a tipping point with human race. And you've got people that are just like all of us that are just like going hard left. We're just, I used to be way more centrist. I'm going way more hard left. And then you got people that are just doubling down on the crazy war corporate nonsense. And Ben Stein is doing that. He's a little bananas. Putin's body. Are you Putin's body? Thank you for supporting the show on the Streamlabs. I told 50 Kremlin crunches. Oh, I did 50 Kremlin crunches, 15 Putin push-ups, and 15 Soviet squats. It's part of the great new exercise program, Putin's body. Oh, like Putin's body. Oh, yeah. I'm doing the Putin workout. That's what I do. Yeah. I throw chairs like a bunch of violent. Yeah. It's great being Putin's body. Thank you for supporting the show. Who's this dumb motherfucker that needs to get... Or Penguin? Yeah, Ben Stein and his ilk have hard-ons for war. It's got to be the governor, Mr. Freeze. That's so great. Taj Marie, I haven't been busy. What's the word on Bernie Sanders' tweet on the failed Venezuela coup? Ooh, I need to see that. Two-bit Rasputin. Tulsi's speech was transcendent. I'm voting for Tulsi and Jill Stein. All right, cool. Stream is buffering. Tulsi made the most brazen anti-war speech from a U.S. contender in modern times. Tulsi, AOC, Stein, Byrne, Trump, Bolton equals culture minus Cultural Revolution. Haha, Balthazar 228. If Ben Stein could participate in Robert Mueller's Day Off. Funny. That's it. That's a Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He was in that. Bueller. I love that movie. I love Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I was a teenager, and that movie motivated me to change my major to film. It's great. We have to go hard left to balance out the hard right. We already tried it centrist with Obama and Clinton, and that didn't work. Yeah, that's right. We got to go hard left. That's the thing. And when anyone comes back, like especially when neoliberals are like, "What are you, an Assad apologist or Putin puppet?" I always say, "So then you're for war?" I'm really asking that question a lot, and we all need to do this publicly on social media. Where's the anti-war movement? So then you're for war? You want war? Just ask them point blank, you want war? You want innocent civilians? You want women and children to die from war? That's what you want? Is that why you're so for war? Oh, sometimes we need war. When? When is war good? World War II? And then when? Yeah. Bernie stepped on his own dick with that Venezuelan tweet. You seem like you're a Riddler fan. That's funny. Riddle me this, bad boob. Yeah, rhombus isotope. That's a great way to respond when people are like, well, I like war. Go, are you in favor of high suicide rates? So you want more war because you like that there's 20 to 22 vets a day that commit suicide from PTSD from these ridiculous regime change wars that only benefit corporations. You're in favor of that. That's what I would say. You come at somebody hard left, peace, socialism, Medicare for all. So you don't want everyone to have health care. You don't want free college tuition. And when they always go, oh, we're going to pay for it. So you want to pay for war. You never ask how we're going to pay for war, but you always ask how we're going to pay for these things that would improve everybody's lives. So you like private prisons. That's why you're a big Kamala Harris fan. You like private prisons. You like jailing poor people. You like slave prison labor. Just ask them questions. So that's what you want. You want war. You're glad that civilians have died in the Middle East. You're glad that we're making people's lives worse in Venezuela. You're happy with that. No, I'm saying I don't like Trump. Yeah, neither do I. That's the crazy thing. Trump is for the coup in Venezuela. So and he's sort of supposedly bought by Russia. Russia's against. So Russia's against the coup. But then if you're against the coup, then you're in favor of Russia. Like, none of it makes sense. The neoliberal Russia gate, none of it makes sense. Venezuela might be the new Vietnam. We're already in one. Katie Hughes, you'd rather hurt people in a country that doesn't deserve it than help heal people in your own country? Yeah, good point. Tara Thralis, you are outraged by people who are pro-war, yet Bernie isn't anti-war. He said drones have done some good things. I wouldn't end the drone program. Know who you defend. Why do you support that? That's a valid point. I know there's a lot about, Bernie has said some stuff. It's a valid point to bring up. True progressives are very rare. Cobra is amassing its forces into invasion, and G.I. Joe is nowhere to be found. USA terrifies the world, creates slave markets to steal oil, doesn't get more inhumane than that. Yeah. Trump is so bad that we have to be in favor of going to nuclear war with Russia and North Korea. Clearly, these people didn't think this through. Oh, God, no one thought it through. They're just, Trump is bad, Trump bad. We got to get Russia, so World War III. No, but Trump bad. Oof. Venezuela needs a GoFundMe. Bangarang, what do you do to stay so fit? Woo, all right, that's a good question. I do it like today. I swam laps. I either swim laps or surf. It's been cold and rainy here, so I haven't been able to surf. I do yoga 3 days a week. I ride my bike a lot. And I can't say when I shop like vegan. I will have seafood every once in a blue moon. So technically I'm a pescatarian, but I go high protein, low carb diet. I don't eat a lot of carbs, and I eat gluten-free. That might not agree with your body. I don't know. And I don't eat a lot of carbs at night because it stays on your body, and I really have very little sugar I put in my body. And yeah, that's what I do. I'm 49 years old. Graham Genetics. Slim Fast Shake. Guido was a USA puppet. Yeah, of course. Yeah, all you need is a bit of ocean air. Yeah, I mean, I surf when the weather's nice, and I like riding my bike. Even though I have an electric car, I still try to ride my bike more, just because it's good exercise. And I like being outside. Yeah, somebody just said, Chris Wynn, I'm trying to eat less meat. I like instant rice bowls, but they don't fill me up, and I can't afford to lose any more weight. Suggestions? Well, if you're already pretty thin, then you could have some more carbs. Like for me, if too many carbs, man, I put on weight really easily. If I have too much bread or pasta, I put on weight too much really easily. So that's what you should. Natural Progressive. I got to cook, but I'll be listening. Thank you, Graham. Thank you, Chris. rice is good. I like to eat also a bunch of smaller meals throughout the day rather than having like 2 or 3 really big meals. I just sort of graze. Like I have peanuts and cashews and almonds, and I'll just eat those. I try to go like as natural and organic as I can with food. I use almond milk. You know, so if you're really if you're like too thin, I also use protein powder. I use plant-based protein powder. You can get I get one that's low carb and low fat and stuff like that, but you can get some protein powder that also has some weight gainer if you need to put weight on. That's something to look at. Quinoa is good. Balthazar, we will see you in New York City. Cooked veggies are better than rice and pasta. Nice. Intermittent fasting. I've heard some people have gotten some good stuff from that. Quinoa, lentils, and veggies. Nice. Legumes. Blue zone diets are the best. It has the most people. Plant-based protein. No way. That's a good one. Yeah. Check out Mick the Vegan YouTube. It is heaps of information. Nutritionfacts.org is also a great site. Awesome. Spaghetti squash. Oh, so good, Marcia. Yeah. Chin-up bar. So yeah, I have a chin-up bar that I put in my doorway. And and there's also some stuff near the beach where I ride my bike. There's like dips and chin-ups. So I don't use a lot of big weights. And then I have a resistance band. And in that, you can do different like curls. I do different kinds of curls like that. You can do shoulder press. You can do all this stuff to work all these muscles. But I cannot recommend yoga enough, man. Yoga really is such a great all-around total body workout. It's fantastic. Grow it yourself, permaculture. Haha, making me want to use my rice cooker steamer again. Will you interview Alex Rubinstein? I'll try. What if you don't like veggies? Well, I don't know what to say to that, Andrew. You don't like veggies? Pilates is a good alternative to yoga. Yeah, to me, it's mind, body, spirit. I eat smoothies too. I had one earlier today. Speaking of being healthy, it's expensive. Most Americans can't afford to eat healthy, nor do they have medical care. The irony of the vicious cycle. Yeah, it's awful. Homemade pizza made with almond flour. Yeah, that's good. I have a cauliflower flour pizza that I get sometimes. Martial arts. I study martial arts as well. Raw plant-based diet, can eat as much as you want. I can't do much exercise due to a chronic illness, but will get my walks in with my girlfriend. Well, I've heard so many people who have cured chronic illnesses with plant-based diets because animal products are really overall bad for the body. I'd slowly start trading out plant cheeses and for vegan cheese and stuff like that. I would really look into that because that can help with a lot of chronic illness. I've heard a lot of people say that. I have great sex a lot, and that is the best thing you can do for your health. Right on. I make everything from scratch. Nice. Every little bit helps. Don't forget, support the show. Hit the like button and go to the super chat if need be. Or Streamlabs. All right. Repeal without a replacement. It's interesting. Thank you so much for supporting the show on the streamlabs.com/Graham Elwood. It's interesting how Dems push for a repeal of Trump without a proper replacement despite demanding a replacement before repeal for the ACA. Oh, I know, it's insane. I mean, that's part of the whole, like, we got to impeach Trump crowd too. It's just like, oh, then they're not worried about Pence. He's super crazy and dangerous. Yeah, it's Trump derangement syndrome. They're just like, well, we got to get him out. We're crazy. And they don't think it through. They don't think any of it through. It's madness, man. It's really crazy. We got 133 people watching and 0 likes. Is that right? That can't be right. Hit the like button. Thank you for donating Repeal Without a Replacement. Less food, more sex. I think Alexandria is having a grand old time over there. Almost 420, Pat, your peace pipe. Nice. Oh, 73 likes. Okay, I guess mine is, it froze. Okay. I was looking at the wrong window. Yeah, because I got to stream this through Google Chrome. I usually use Safari, and sometimes Chrome, the page is weird. All right, cool. Yeah, you're right, Brian. Pence is nuts. Cookie or nookie? Okay, cool. Oh, there's 4 people dislike it. Of course there is. There's always got to be somebody who's got to dislike something. Chelsea Sites, Chelsea. Thanks for supporting the show. Agent Orange is still a problem today. Or how do you feel about the subject? Well, yeah, Agent Orange was, most of you probably know this. For those of you who don't, it was used primarily in Vietnam to kill the vegetation because, oh, we can't fight in the jungle. So this awful stuff that killed all the vegetation, and all of these Vietnam vets got cancer from it. People are still suffering from it. It was awful. It was just, again, why are we in this war? What do we do? You know, like, and how do we treat the soldiers? Like, so expendable. We'll spray them with the stuff that's got cancer. Who cares? We'll throw them into this war that they shouldn't be in. Who cares? Like, we should really only have a military if somebody invades us. Somebody like rolls up to our shores or comes across the border with an army. Okay. We don't need to be all over the world doing this crap and then doing Agent Orange, which is awful. It's another way we haven't supported vets. You know, I'm glad you brought it up, Chelsea, because it's just like, look how we treat our vets. Look what we do. The VA. I know some people that get decent treatment at the VA, but then I hear so many other horrible stories about it. It's like, it's not right. And then, as we said earlier, 20 to 22 vets a day commit suicide. This is how we treat our vets. We spray them with Agent Orange. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's unreal. We have this economy that's horrible. So in so many areas, there's no jobs. So you got to join the military. It's awful, man. So thanks for supporting the show, Chelsea. Thanks for bringing that up. The water in Vietnam is still polluted and the birth defects and cancer rates are intense. Yeah, great. So we've poisoned their country and their water is still messed up. Oh, that's spreading freedom. I'm just so tired of this country that could be so great. Like, America could be this utopia. It could lead the way for the entire world. We could be this benevolent, peaceful country that just goes around and helps. We build schools and roads and hospitals. We do that all over the world because our citizens are treated, everyone. We have no poverty. Everyone's taken care of here. And we want the whole world to have that. That's what we could do. but we don't. We spray Agent Orange, and we give vets cancer, and pollute the water, and there's kids and people with cancer, and infant mortality rates go up because of us in Vietnam. It's just awful, man. It's in their food supply. Vets are treated marginally as any other beaten class. Ron Wagoner, I don't agree with that statement, man. Like, how about why do we don't have to pick between vets or the Vietnam civilians? Why don't we just say it was awful for everybody and all these people were thrown into this? That was a mostly conscripts. There was a lot of draftees went to Vietnam. It was awful what happened to the Vietnam citizens. But saying what you just said, that's not right. Medicare for All gets rid of the VA and gives vets the care they need. Yeah, absolutely. And I hear so many vets tell this story of they've got PTSD or whatever, and they go to the VA and they're just given just a bunch of psych meds. Here, just narc them up, and they don't really address it. It's awful. These chats are wonderful. We get to see all these prefab narratives come out of our mouths, and we have to think about it. Yeah. Yeah, there was a time when America was known for innovation. Now we're only known for war. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever happened to innovation? Shouldn't we be on the cutting edge of like green technology? Shouldn't America just be like, oh man, America is leading the way on efficiency and green energy and saving the planet, and everyone should be like, man, you go to America, there's solar panels on everything. There's wind turbines. They have a network of pipelines for water. Oh, it's unbelievable. They capture every drop of water that gets rain. They purify it. They reuse every drop of water. It's amazing. Oh, they have permaculture. The air quality is amazing. Everybody's driving electric cars or cars. They got this amazing state-of-the-art public transportation. It's organic food everywhere. They don't use any pesticides. There's no plastics. America could be that. Everyone's got a job because the Green New Deal put everyone to work. Their military, it just goes and does humanitarian things. You know, there's a volcano or an earthquake in some poor country, and America's military shows up and stabilizes and helps everybody. That's what America's military does. We're all proud of who we are. We're all proud to be Americans. We all like want to tell people we're Americans because we all at our core want to help everybody because we feel so privileged to live in the richest country in the history of the world that helps everybody. It brings a tear to my eye to think about what this country could be versus what it is. My dad was a medic on a ship just offshore. He died from complications of Agent Orange, and I had problems from it as well. Oh, man, Chelsea, I'm so sorry. So you're like this, a second generation is being affected by Vietnam. Here in America and over there, obviously. There's still landmines over there. So bring this up when the neoliberals are screaming for war in Syria and Russia. Bring this up. Go hard anti-war stance. Go hard left. Go hard socialism. Go hard Green New Deal. Because if they don't want it, then they're not the liberals they claim they are. They're just pro-choice warmongers. That's what they are. Hannah, thank you for supporting the show. Knuckles for Justice. Chelsea, thanks for sharing your story with us. I really appreciate it. My brother-in-law was blown up several times in the Middle East, and they dropped him terribly. They doped him terribly, excuse me. He had to take meds before VA appointments because he would lose his benefits if he didn't take his dope. Jesus. I'm really sorry about that, Ruth. If you can't live on 10 million a year, you're buying way too much avocado toast. That's hilarious. Mob Video Vault. America knowingly poisoned Flint, its own people. Recently, Agent Orange's child's play compared to the lunatics in the asylum. Yeah, I know. It's Agent Orange is awful. We're still bearing the effects of it, and it's not. And that's what's even horrible is that what there's also worse stuff happening. We just keep doing that. We don't think there's going to be any long-term benefits. It's pretty insane to me. It's pretty insane to me. Imagine if we had started to address climate change in the 60s, where we'd be now. Oh, yeah. Think about it. Think about what we would have, what the world would look like. Who knows? What if you put billions of dollars into research, what smart people could come up with? What if Silicon Valley was just their number one goal was like reversing climate change versus just apps to make billionaires more rocket ships or whatever? Think about that. Ugh. Bums me out. First Earth Day was 1971. Public domain was there. Good for you. I never understood how they manufacture consent in regards to these wars. Hey, this guy's a terrible dictator who gasses his own people, so let's invade and start dropping bombs. Wait, what? They all do it by fear. Because we have this nice life, then they keep us afraid. That's how they do it. They keep us afraid. So the scare tactic, war, Venezuela, they're going to come get us. They're going to blow everything up. We got to go down there. Okay. All right. And that's how they manufacture consent. Because they try to block my videos and Jimmy's videos. They call him a Russian puppet or whatever. That's what they do. Abby Martin. Oh, she's a crazy socialist or whatever. Anybody, Lee Camp, anybody. Russian puppet. Thank you for sending me this article from Veterans for Peace. Veterans call to resist U.S. coup in Venezuela. Right on. I'm going to do a video on this. Thank you for sending me that. Absolutely, I will do this. Right on. Thanks. Veterans for Peace came out to one of the shows. Brian McManus. Brian, thank you for supporting the show. Shave the knuckles. Imagine if FDR's New Deal had gone as far as it was intended to. We would have Medicare and Social Security for all. Yeah. But the Democratic Party went to the war hawks. They got rid of Henry Wallace and they got Truman in the 1940 Democratic Convention. Henry Wallace gave a speech in 1946 saying, we need to broker peace with the Russians. FBI started tracking him. He was a threat. He's too soft. Imagine, you're right, Brian McManus. If the New Deal would not only would we have Medicare for all, Social Security for all, it would have just morphed into then, when we started talking about the environment in the 60s and 70s, we would go, okay, so let's get it together. Let's in the 70s when we were having all this economic despair and all this crap was going on in the 70s, gas shortages, we would have gone, done. We could have been off Middle Eastern oil by like 1980. Done. Green, beautiful, not 80% of insects in the Amazon rainforest are dead or whatever. Unreal. It's a great point, Brian. Thanks for mentioning that. Taj Marie, thanks for supporting the show. You should see AOC's interview with Anderson Cooper. According to Anderson, it is not feasible for everyone to have electric vehicles. God, he's a Vanderbilt, that little silver spoon candy ass. It's not feasible? Why not? I have an electric car. The parking garage in my apartment complex, if they just put charging stations at everyone's parking space and everyone drove an electric car and we put solar panels on the roof of my apartment complex, there we go. We're in sunny California. We would be charging our cars through the sun. How hard is that? Anderson, Thanks for bringing that up, Taj Marie. What a bunch of clowns. I was about to say, I can't believe. No, I can't believe. Because who buys ad time on CNN? Who pays Anderson Cooper's bill? ExxonMobil, Shell, BP. They buy a lot of ad time on the big networks. So that's who pays them. It's not realistic. So we shouldn't try then. Same thing, guys. We were talking about when anytime the neoliberals say, well, war, and we bring up all these points. Same thing with the environment. So then we should just let the environment collapse because every scientist is saying it's collapsing. So we shouldn't do anything about it? It's totally doable. I have a 2017 Kia Soul EV. I went to the auto show. I go to the auto show every year. The 2020 Kia Souls, so my car gets about 100 miles off a charge. When the 2020s come out, they're going to have about 240 miles off the charge. They're already improving it. There's more charging stations in California now than there were 2 years ago. Ridiculous. I'm sorry to hear that, Alexandra. That's awful. In Florida, you can't disconnect yourself from the grid and you can't get paid for extra energy you produce back to the grid by law. Ugh, gee, I wonder who passed that law. I'm sure the utility companies didn't pressure that law. Public domain tax revolt would be lovely and awesome. Absolutely. Henry Ford made a car out of hemp. Go Extinction Rebellion. I hear it's hit the States. Yeah, guys, I talk about this a lot, and I'll do more videos on it. I did a video with Natural Progressive and Independent Outsider, but Extinction Rebellion. Go to their website, start getting involved with them. That's what we got to do. Get involved. And when neoliberals are like, "Oh, you're going to help Trump win," go, "I'm going to Extinction Rebellion. I'm helping save the planet." What are you doing? Tweeting about how great Kamala is? Life is short. We must treat each other well. Yeah, Alexander, you're right. I was somebody was treating me as well. It sounds like you're getting treated. Got my orange life jacket with loud whistle. I'm ready for rubber bullets. Oh, man. Florida is an example of why we should nationalize basic utilities. Absolutely. U.S. creating coup in Venezuela, backed by every mainstream media outlet from MSNBC to Fox News. Lee Camp. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I did Jimmy's show Friday, and then I got to meet Lee. I mean, I met him, I interviewed him, but it was the first time meeting in person. Really cool guy, very funny, very sharp guy. It was really, really awesome, you know, meeting him. And he's gonna, Ron and I, when we're on the East Coast in June, we're gonna be on Redacted Tonight. We're just trying to coordinate that, but he's gonna have us on Redacted Tonight, which is pretty awesome. So I'll be on that show in June. So come out. Hey, here comes a block for you. You said dumb things. You're getting reported. Australia's main climate denier state has been hammered by brush fires, floods, and now tornadoes in the past 3 months. Oh, man. Comcast does not offer RT. Unreal. Graham would love to see you on Jordan Sheridan show. Yeah. I'd love to reach out to him. Graham, do you have Ligma? I don't know what that means. Neil Rajakur, please come to DC. We are, brother. It's on my website, grahamelwood.com. Like June 13th, I think. I don't know what ligma balls are. Oh, I get it. Ligma balls. Got it. Now, ha. Nice. You know who's nuts? Are these? Who's nuts? These nuts, fool. Come to Raleigh. We're going to try. Can you find an audience in San Luis Obispo? Maybe. Hemp Seattle. Yeah, coal is almost a dead industry. Oh, I can't believe I fell for ligma balls. So great. The Bowmanville show. Yeah, Andrew, we're going to come up to Bowmanville, Canada, do a private show for you. Oh, that's so great. The Bowmanville. We're going to try to get up to Bowmanville, brother. You know, we want to get up to make a Bowmanville run. I don't even know where Bowmanville is, but I'm sure it's fantastic, Andrew. Yes, I have heard of Tim Black. I was actually on his show. We follow each other. I'm going to try to get him on this show, and hopefully we'll have him come out to and maybe perform with us when we do the DC Progressive Comedy Tour show in June. Doing their part, Pakistan to plant 10 billion trees to counter global warming. Oh, that's awesome. All right, folks. Well, let's. What's up, Tijuana and Pacoima? How you doing? I have not heard of Peter B. Collins. 60 people. Oh, 60,000 people in Bowmanville. All right, dude. We'll try to make it. Any tips on starting a political podcast? Just start talking. When I started doing this show, I was literally talking into my iPhone, sitting at my kitchen table, and reading the paper. And in 2 years, look how we've grown. We got this bigger, fancier studio. I just crossed 13,000 subscribers. The video of Jimmy and I making fun of that eclair has 27,000 views. My videos used to get 50 views, 75 views. If I had one that would like broke 100 or 200, I go, wow, that's awesome. Now if a view gets less than 1,000 a video, I'm like, it didn't do that well. Just start talking, man. ShadowZag09, are you guys going to visit Indianapolis? Yeah, we're trying to set up a Midwestern thing. Jimmy is doing his show live in Chicago on July 13th. And Ron and I were thinking maybe then we would like jump down to Indianapolis or go to some other places in the Midwest. So we're looking into that. I'd love to get to Indianapolis. It's cool. I've had a lot of great shows there. Thanks for supporting the show. All right. I want to thank everybody. Oily Wa, Kalana Klasuda. Hope the tips help, my friend. Well, I want to thank everybody. First, I'll thank everybody over at the Streamlabs. Thank you for supporting the show. Marcia Smith, thank you. Watch the videogram. It's my fault. I'm a bad human being. Thank you for supporting the show. Ben Stein, thank you. Putin's body, thank you. Repeal without a replacement, thank you so much. And of course, in YouTube, Pop Reality, thank you so much for supporting the show. Pop Reality again, right on. Anthony Penza, thank you so much. OTR Trucker, boom. Pop Reality again, thanks, dude. Chelsea Sites, good to have you. Great Wednesday night. You're a great addition Friday night. And Jimmy Dore, look forward to the next Thursday. Thanks for what you do is important. My pleasure, Chelsea. I believe that's Chelsea, who is the winner of the Political Vigilante Game Show. Big winner. She went home with a Make Gotham Great Again shirt, an Earbuds signed DVD, an issue of the AAA magazine, and some candy canes. And Dino got